Hey everybody, welcome to your Tuesday Tech Tip. My name's Patrick, and today we are going to look back at Hapara. Great tool. If you haven't tried it out in your classroom yet, you should give it a go. You can get everybody's screen on the big screen, and it just helps keep everyone honest and transparent with the work they're doing in class. And a big shout out to Matt Roberts, because this is his video. I hope you enjoy. See ya.
I'm going to talk you through the Hapara software and basics of getting your classes set up and how to use the software in your lessons. So the first easy thing to do is to make sure you have Hapara on your computer. Go down to the square spotty thing, third set of applications, Hapara Teacher Dashboard, click on that and that should get you all up and running. What you should see in the first screen if you've not used it before is a request to log in. Just use your regular Google account from the school and that should be pretty straightforward. Here I've got all my classes I've already downloaded from Google Classroom and that can be accessed through my classes. If you click on all classes you can see all of the different lesson areas that have been set up by teachers. If you're brand new to it and need to set up your classes, you go to add or sync class in the top right. You have this option here of sync classes. So this is on the assumption that you have set up Google Classroom and your students have joined it, and then you import them by basically clicking on a box and clicking add classrooms. As I've already done mine, I'm not going to go through that process. It does take a few seconds, which is very exciting. So if I go back to my classes here, actually at this point I'll just tell you what Hapara doesn't do, which is track the students' activity off-site. As soon as they are logged off of our network, Hapara ceases to function. When they come into school, log into the network and access Chrome, that's when the screens and their information is visible to us. So it is not some kind of mining software to see what's going on beyond the school walls. Okay, the main functions really are to monitor students' screens and enhance their learning experience. So what you're probably going to use most is the highlights function, and that enables you to monitor the students' screens to close or record activity via Chrome. Saying that, if the students are looking at the internet via Firefox or Safari or anything similar, you will not be able to use this software. It is a Chrome extension. Now this scene here under dashboard should show any documents shared through your Google Classroom. So here Edwin has got a copy of our unit glossary. He still has it open somewhere on his screen. If we go across to highlights, this is probably the most practical tool you'll have for your lessons. I'm not sure if they're in a class at the moment. If the students have their laptop shut or if they're not accessing Wi-Fi, you won't be able to see what they're up to. So it looks like 8.3 with the exception one is actually not using their internet. Let's go to 8.2. Again, accessible just through that drop down over there. If the students are in your class, you can see the laptops open, but you cannot see what's going on, and you'll get a window like this. It may mean that the Hapara analytical tool hasn't been pushed onto their computer, and Patrick and I are currently looking at that. Under this subsection here, browser tabs, you can see all of the screens that the kids currently have open up. If I wanted to, I could close these off. I won't be doing that as there is a lesson going on, and I think that would be very inconvenient for the teacher. If you move over under highlights to current screens, you get access to what is going on their screens right now. If I click on Hanji's here, give it a second, and it shows me a screen capture of what the current student is doing. If I click save, it will actually download it as a JPEG. You can see it in the bottom corner there. Okay, and you can use that obviously as evidence of their wonderful work, which you may wish to celebrate, or you may want to use it as evidence to show they've been mucking up in your class. But with Hanji here, I've got a range of options. I can send her a direct message, I can share a link with her. The focus sessions and filter sessions, I'll get to there in a second. Equally, snaps shows you any screenshots you've taken. Schedule here means I can actually set up a lesson using Hapara, but what you really will be using is highlights and the current screens. If I go across to the activity viewer here, it gives me a summary of that particular class where I can see what the students are up to, and this is refreshing every 2.5 seconds, and I can actually still close this tab from here. I can take a screen capture or I can view the file itself. Over here on this side is all of the shared websites that they're using. So if there's more than one student logged into a particular web page, excuse me, then it will show over here. Now, what's quite useful, if you go up to the top right over here, is guide browsing and the focus session. Very useful for if you're doing research projects or you want the students to focus on one particular document. If it's in Chrome, you can copy a link into here. If I click on the link, I can paste this into here, which means the students will only be able to look at the beep. I can click this option here of this whole site or only the page that they are currently viewing. So if you're doing, I don't know, some kind of comprehension activity, you can set up the time on this for as much as you need. You can ask them just to look at one particular article, say on Newsella or on Encyclopedia Britannica. Very handy. You can do it for particular students if you want to differentiate, or there's a student that needs a little bit more guiding in their browsing, you can have 9 more links, which is quite handy for INS, where we have a maximum number in order to meet the top criteria. This could be student approved or ones that you think are of good quality. For sharing links, it's what it sounds, so you can send these through. Again, if you want to make sure that they are exclusively using those, you use the focus session. A filter session basically means you can remove any links that you don't want the students to look at. So essentially, that is the main elements of Hapara. If you've got any questions, please come and see Patrick or myself. Thank you very much.